Tomorrow marks 6 months of the war in Ukraine, which will also be Ukraine's Independence Day. And today is Ukrainian Flag Day. So joining us now to discuss the state of the war is Ukrainian Parliament member Rudik and retired Air Force Brigadier General and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt. Good morning, General and Kira. Thank you for joining us, General. I do want to start with you because the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine is now urging Americans to leave the country because Russia's stepping up civilian strikes. Your thoughts on this and what are you hearing?
Hi, I'm good. Good morning. It's great to be with you and Kira. I'll just tell you that I think that that's ridiculous. They've already issued warnings to leave Ukraine because of the state of war. So to have a heightened increase based on one of the warring factions taking actions against civilians, which they've been doing since the very start of the war, I don't think it's very helpful. I don't think it's very helpful to our friends in Ukraine who are in a desperate battle for every ounce of soil right now.
Yeah, no, great point, General. Akira, you know, we're hearing about an uptick in civilian attacks, but to General Holt's report, I mean, we've been seeing this happen all along, apartment buildings where kids and moms have been hiding. What else have you seen, and has it gotten worse?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be together with General Holt. So you see, today is August 23rd, and I'm just back from lunch, and I can tell you that almost like half of the cafes and restaurants are closed due to the warnings that we received from the government. Right now, everybody's taking it seriously, and people are leaving Kiev for at least these 2 days because the threat is very high. However, what's the solution? What's the solution? Are we going to be hiding and leaving our cities every single time when we have the round date or next important celebration or something? The only solution is to win, to push Russians back and to make sure that they are unable to attack us again. And for that, we need more and more weapons. There is only way for the nightmare to end is for us to win. And this is why the point that after 6 months of fighting, we are still getting to the situation where people have to leave their homes in the peaceful cities where there is no active fighting continues, is the matter of sign saying, dear allies, we need more and more support because we don't want this to happen in our country. We want to make sure that at the places where there is no fighting, it's safe and secure. For that, we need a different level support from the Air Force protection.
Yeah, General, what is the solution? How do they win? Tomorrow marks 6 months that this has been going on. Kira says they need more weapons and need more support. What's the solution?
So the solution, from my point of view, is it starts with a commitment to the logistics that are required, not the announcements that are required to show support and solidarity for Ukraine. But the problem is we have not done anything as a nation to backstop Europe's energy problems in the face of Russia cutting off these energy supplies under sanctions. We have to do that if we're going to take this into the wintertime and help Ukraine repulse this enemy. And what I would urge is it's not too much farther to go. Things are not going well in Moscow. The sanctions are taking effect, and we do see some deterioration and fragmentation inside the Putin inner circle.
Akira, Flag Day is something we celebrate here in the United States. We've seen both Russians and Ukrainians honor theirs the past 2 days. Talk to us about what you're doing. I know that it's extremely powerful for you this year. Can you let us know, what are you doing there?
So today there would be celebration. They are silent celebration when people are taking pictures with their flags, but not gathering together due to the security reasons. Right now, after we finish with the show, I will go to Krещатик, the central street of Kiev, where we have this so-called parade. Putin promised to have the parade on the central street of Kiev on the first week of war. And right now, 6 months after the war started, we are having Russian weapons, tanks and BTRs exhibited on the central streets of Kiev, showing that no matter what, we will win. No matter what, we are able to push back the aggressor that is trying to destroy us. So that is the celebration that we are having. This is how we are honoring our troops. This is how we are honoring our ability to stand together, to stand united, and to win this war no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. General Holt, we have about 30 seconds left. We saw Ukraine's military lining the streets of Kyiv. They had burned out Russian military equipment, as Kira was talking about. A very different way to celebrate. Your thoughts?
Well, happy Flag Day to Kira and all of Ukraine. Slava Ukraine. What we see is absolute commitment to country, devotion to nation, and a people who are saying, in the face of oppression and great danger, no, we will not let you have our sovereignty or our country. And today, we here in the United States, we stand with Ukraine in that idea.
Absolutely. Kira, Rudik, General Holt, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of course. And don't forget to keep it tuned to Newsmax as our series, Putin's Atrocities, Horror in Ukraine, continues tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern on The Record with Greta Van Susteren. You're watching Wake Up America, only on Newsmax.